Hello everyone. So here in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to make hair in such kind of abstract faces or portraits that we create with watercolors. So here I'm going to use my brush number 1, or if you're comfortable with, you can also go with the number 0 brush, that is fine too. Again, right, so I'm going to take a number 1 for this one. Then I have my watercolor cakes over here. So there is one wash given to this painting. Okay, but I find the color of the hairs is still very light. I want it to be as good as the color in the eye, and for this reason I'm going to add one more layer of color to this. For some reason, I don't know why, but the paper is absorbing a lot of pigment. So the color that I'm going to use is the Indian red color, or the reddish brown color, or the burnt sienna color. So I'm just going to give it one more layer. This time I'm using little less water and more of this pigment. So this is the color I want, and I will be working over it once it dries beautifully. Okay, so while this layer of brown is getting dried up, I'm going to go and make these jewelry. So now again, there was a bit of shading over there which we can see in the original image, but then I'm taking the 0 number brush, one number brush. You can either work with this or with your pencil color. I'm going to show you how to work with your pencil color also, but let's start with the brush. So for this one, the image is somewhat reddish at place, somewhat it is showing dark brown color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some of my primary red color and this burnt sienna or the brown color somewhere in my palette, and get a rustic color over here. So this is what I'm going to do here is I'm taking my primary red and the same color which I used for coloring the hairs. I'm going to mix them well And here we go. So this is not red, this is not brown, somewhere in between. If you don't like the shade, you can always mix a third color in that. Let's see what happens if we mix some orange color to this one. Yeah, so I think this is good. So I'm going to go with this. So this is a combination of primary red, burnt sienna and orange. Okay, so there is, as you can see, there is not a lot of water in this. What we're going to do is we're going to give this necklace a beautiful design directly with our brush over here. So I'm going to start by giving again a outline on top of this black line. So here again I'm working just with the tip of this brush, and I'm trying to make these lines as fine as possible. Alright, so we're just going to give a very fine line with our brush. Now there is a design which you can see in the picture, the one which I shared in the class. If you're not comfortable with that design, you are always free to give this necklace your favorite design, but I'm going to follow the same thing so that it'll be easy for you to understand what I'm going to do here. So first, as seen in the image, I am drawing two lines in the center. The top part of this is going to be covered by very fine standing lines. So I'm going to start from the center. Reason being, so this necklace is in a curved form. So if I'll start drawing from a curve, you will end up getting slanting line throughout, which we don't want. So I'm going to start from the center, and as you move towards either of these sides, these lines are going to take the shape of this curve only, and it will not look odd. So this is a little trick what we use while creating some ornaments or jewelry. Always start from the center. Even for this little jhumka, it is obviously straight, but still I'm going to start from the center and move on the other sides. Here, and then we have all circles. So again, here also what you can do is, these are circles. You can always start from the center and move towards different directions, or we can start from the corner, because here we're making small circles and we're going to give it 3 rows. If it was just one circle, I would have started from the center and then I would have gone towards the other directions. So now, being a lefty, I started from this direction. So if you're right-handed, I am sure that you'll be working from the right hand side only, so that's okay. Just remember, when you're going towards the end of the necklace, the size of the beads are going to become smaller. So I'll show you what happens when we start from the center. So the next circle that I'm going to place is in between these two circles and not under one of that, because that is going to spoil the design of this ornament. And we just keep on making these circles. I think I'll be drawing more than 3 lines of circles over here. I have made my beads really small. Let's see. So while you're using a pencil, you're just going to draw the same things with a pencil, and I'm like, with a pencil you will get a different kind of texture, not very flowy, or all the lines will be same, right? So I am sure you'll get more precision with the pencil. I'm going to make this jhumka, or maybe this little pendant, with the pencil. I'll show you how to use that. So once you'll use a pencil for this, this will also become a mixed media art. So that's a very common term which we use in okay. Okay, so I'm going to make this pendant with a pencil. So I think this is the closest possible pencil color that I have, which is very much similar to the one which I have used for with the watercolors. Okay, so here, as the pencil is not going to work over the black outlines that I created with my watercolors, I'm just going to demonstrate how we are going to draw around it and over the watercolor. Again, I'm saying you're free to choose your favorite design. You're not you don't have to draw it exactly what I am making here. So as you can see, with the pencil colors, you will get a very different kind of texture, which I am not liking it. I'm going to redo it with my brush, and fortunately the pencil color that I used was a water-based pencil, so I'm sure it is not going to spoil my painting. Anyways, okay, so moving forward, I'm just going to give this outline one more time and redo this pencil marks. All I will say is have some confidence if you're doing this for the very first time. You should not be scared of this particular design to be spoiled, because when you're working with watercolors, this is a very big advantage that you get, that you can always redo it. You can always color it over and redo it. But the effect that you're going to get with your watercolors is something which you cannot get with the pencil colors or any other medium that you're using over here, that you can use, or maybe sketch pens also. They'll give you a different kind of shine. So this mixed media will not work according to me. Okay, so moving over here for the earring. So that's again a very lovely shape or design that they have used in the original pattern. I'll try to create that one again. So the very first thing is I'm going to give this earring outline. I think I need to make this color one more time. I have added a lot of water to it, so the pigment has become little light. Let's see. Okay, so here we have some big circles. So for getting those circles properly, I'm going to start by drawing it in the center. So this is going to be my first circle. Then I'm moving on the either sides and drawing more. Okay, so then you have another circle inside it. Then give it a double line. This is somewhat like a mandala design that we're creating over here on this ornament. Okay, and then some straight lines. Again, I'm going to start from the center so that they look even, equidistant and symmetrical. Then we have some circles, small circles, which I'm going to start from the sides only. Like this. Okay, then moving ahead, I'm going to make some more color. So now next is, so the circle is a little typical design over here. So this has a circle in center and the lines are a bit of brackets like this. Okay, done. These are some drops. Right. So these two, this is, I again believe, a kind of earring that she's wearing. I am not sure about this ornament, what it is called, but yes, they both are going to be of the same design. So whatever you create for this one, it is going to be exactly the same for the top one. So these are like two lines in the center. It's a very typical and a very intricate design over here, which I'm really going to modify. So first I'm going to draw okay, and then I'm just changing the pattern and I'm making it a little more easy. More lines for this one and more lines for this one too. So I just completed that. It's still looking good. Okay, the next is I'm going to give a little outline for the ears over here. So I'm taking some black color for this, and so the hairs are also dried up. So here I'm going to work with the black color, added some water. Same number 1 brush. You can always choose a brush which is even smaller than this, thinner than this one, that is fine. Whichever you're comfortable with, you're going to use. We're going to make some fine lines for the hairs. So first I'm going to give this ear an outline over here. And the inner part also. Yeah. Then give these hairs a outline now. I'm starting from the nose. Again, try to make them as thin as possible. Give it a lot of time, patience. Do it calmly and it will surely turn out good. Also to this part again I'm going to give a little outline first. Okay, and these here also. So the area is all defined wherever we have her hair. So we have just given an outline first with black color. Now with the same black color I'm just going to tilt my paper a little bit and I'm going to draw some fine lines for the hairs. Now they need to be little close to each other. They can be little far away from each other, like this. Okay, so the hairs are done like this. We're going to leave very little brown over here. So now over here we have two sections. There is one section of hair which is coming like this behind the ears, and the other section is going like this and following this pattern over here. Okay, so whenever you're going to draw the hair strands, you're going to follow these directions. That means as I'm going to start from the front part over here, I'm going to start drawing these hairs. Okay, just follow the curve or the hairline, and first you can draw them a little apart from each other. Give them a little gap and draw like this, so that it is easy to see the direction how the hairs are moving. So I'm giving a lot of space first, like this. Okay, and then again take some color in your brush, again very little water, and we're going to work in between these lines. So now this time these lines are going to overlap for sure, which is fine. Somewhere the thickness will vary, which is again fine. So this time I'm going to break the lines and draw. So I'm not going all the way to the base. I am working in between these lines and in broken lines. What you need to remember is when you come really close to this ear, you're just going to give it a little darker outline and do a little shading in the hairs here. Okay, same thing we're going to do in front of the head over here as we make the, so this is, is there? Okay, so now we're going to follow the next section and we are going to make these hairs in the similar manner. So this is my black color, brush is number 1. In here what I'm going to do is I'm going to further divide this section into one more section like this, and now again tilting it, I will start making these hairlines following this curve at a distance first. Okay, I'm going to give this earring a little outline so that I don't enter inside the design of this earring over here. So I'm going to curve these hairs and I'll start following this line's direction over here. So there is no particular way to make it. So you're just going to draw some lines which are eventually going to overlap each other as you go on drawing them. So So once the section is ready, nobody can say which line was made first or which was made over it or how did you draw it. So again, you don't have to be very tensed or and we don't need a lot of precision for this, right? So again, I have reached the base. I'm going to give it a little darker lines and I'm just going to give it a little shade here with my brush like this. Again, moving on to the next section of the hairs. So here again, I'm going to divide it into a center line and I'm going to follow this section first and draw some thicker lines. Then I'm going to draw in between them, overlap them like this. So now I'm going to tilt my paper this direction because my hand is moving in this direction very smoothly. It will be difficult for me to draw them by moving my wrists like this. Okay, so just identify the direction which is comfortable for you for making these hairs or these lines, where how smooth you can go in which direction. So you can just tilt your paper in that direction and draw these hairs. The only thing that you want to keep in mind is you should not work with a dry brush. So if the brush is dry, that means you have more pigment and less of water in your brush. You're not going to get these smooth lines over here. Okay, so now this back portion is again I'm going to work. So whenever you make a high bun, the hairs are coming from the base and going on the top. So we don't have any section over here. All the hairs are going from here and touching this end over here. I'm not going to draw them like this. Okay, so this is wrong. The origin of the hairs are going to be this point, not like this. Okay, they should not be in straight parallel lines. They're going to meet at this point over here. So I'm going to follow this curve over here. First I'm going to draw some far apart lines like this. Now I'm going to fill in between them. So I'm going to fill in between these lines over here. So as you can see, this time the pigment is little less. The water is little less, so it is giving you some dry brush kind of effect, which I don't want. I'm going to take some more water and I'll draw these hairs again over it. So as you can see, this girl has got a lot of hairs. So if you see closely, the lines are overlapping. Somewhere there is dark black, somewhere it is little lighter. So both ways it works. Now coming to this little strand over here, I just fill it up with little black lines over here and the hairs are done. Yay! Okay, so now next thing that I want you to complete before the class is this little area around this frame, this little light blue area. For this thing I need some white color and some lemon yellow color. I'm going to wash my brush properly so that there is no black color left in it. So now next is I'm going to pick up some white color. And I'm going to blend it somewhere over here. Then some lemon yellow color. And blend it with this white. Basically I want a little fluorescent color over here. And with this particular same brush, what I'm going to do is alright, so here if you will see the image over here, there is some little writing transcription with a lighter shade over here. So I have created somewhat similar color, that is your lemon yellow plus white color. Okay, so I'm going to take this color and I'm going to write anything on this area with it. So this is just a rough doodle that I'm going to do on this border and over the leaves also. Okay, so here the leaves are a little dark. What should I do now? What can be done for the leaves? It is the same color. Should I paint over the... Okay, let's do that. Let's try. Alright, so let's take some cobalt blue first. So I'm taking some cobalt blue. I'm trying to change the outside texture first and I am making it a little dark here. Don't rub it a lot, because if you'll do that, I think this is working. So don't rub it a lot, just one stroke and this is done. So when you give a little tone of this cobalt blue color, you will see the texture of the leaves over here, somewhere here, which is good. So just give this frame a little cobalt blue or the sky blue color or the lightest blue that you have. No blending, no shading, just plain color. Okay, so this is what we don't want. Make it smooth. The same thing, I'm going to give a frame. So I'm liking this blue color now. Less pigment, more water. Here. So now you can see these leaves which are a little bit transparent now, and you can differentiate these two sections, 1 and 2. All right. Okay, so while this is drying up, we're going to create the same color that we just created, yellow plus white. We're going to take the same color and the thin brush number 1, and I'm going to draw some lines on the palla over here like this. So don't make all the line in one go, keep on taking more color. So normally before making these lines or the fine line which I'm going to create on this outer frame, we give this complete drawing one more wash, which we're not going to do, and I'll show you how to just go on with the outlines or the finishing look for this particular painting. Okay, it's little not completely dried up. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to pick up some black color again, and I'm going to give the inside part, this brown color of the eye, one more outline. The top part little more dark as if it is a liner. This you will do only if you feel that the outline on your paper is little light, otherwise it is fine. Okay, all right, so again still a little wet. Let's work on the jewelry part. So like we created the lips, a little shading, the same thing we are going to work for these two stones, the ruby stone in the nose ring and this little stone over here. So first I'm going to take some white color and just add on the outer side like this. Clean your brush, take some crimson or the rose pink color, less water, more color, add it in the center of these white lines over here. It is going to blend by itself. Yes, wash your brush, less water, and just with a one little stroke on the white color we're going to blend it from the sides and give it a little pink texture on the outer line. Same thing for this one, just a little blend on the white part and give it a little shading, little pink color on the edges, and as it dries it is going to take a beautiful color. Yes, it is looking good. Okay, now next is, yes, now we can work on the border. So the same mixture, white and lemon yellow color in my brush, and I'm just going to, yes, now this is working fine. I'm just going to make a scribble or a doodle all over this blue frame. So there is no particular thing, I'm just moving my brush in any direction without even thinking. The only thing that you want to keep in mind is always keep on taking some fresh color. So when you're working on the blue part, this yellow and white mixture is cool. It works well. But when you move on the area where you have a leaf underneath, it becomes really light because the color of the leaf is almost very much similar to the color of this outer scribbling that we're doing. Let's just keep on doing this. I'm going to show you how to make it look apart. I'll bring it a little close so that you can have a better look of this area. So somewhere it is dark, somewhere it is light, dark, light, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep on making this scribbling all over the frame. So much fun to do this because this will never go wrong. You can write anything, you can make any kind of impression, it is not going to go bad. That's the beauty about the scribbling. It is going to end up looking beautiful on your paper, no matter how you draw it, no matter what you write, no matter which color you use, light or dark, it doesn't matter again. Here we go, almost done. Alright, so once we're done with the yellow color, yellow and white mixture for the background, you're going to clean your brush and pick up some white color from the palette now. And I'm going to do a little scribbling with the white color anywhere in between these yellow lines, not everywhere, just anywhere. Wherever you find a little more blue space, you're going to do that, or wherever you think the yellow is looking a little dull, you're going to do this. Here. So as the white dries up, it is also going to get light, but it's okay, that's fine. Okay, so now the background is done, and I'm going to show this shading, in between shading, one more time for those who were finding it difficult to perform for the very first time. So for this I have created a mixture of sap green color, as I remember. and I think black color. I don't exactly remember, did I mix any leaf green or viridian hue? I don't remember. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sap green color first, mix it up on my palette somewhere, and a bit of black. Right, so I'm going to take more black over here for it to look like really blackish green color. Yeah, so this almost looks black in the camera, but it is little bit of green. Alright, so I'm going to show this portion one more time for those who were struggling to make it. And what I was doing in the class was I was giving the leaf one little dark outline first. Okay, I'm just avoiding the area of the flower. I'm not giving any shading over there, like this. And I'm going to clean my brush, and with a clean brush I'm just going to blend it a bit with the background here. Okay, say I'm going to repeat it on the rest of my drawing, because I just did one section dark, and I'm going to make all these sections look a little more darker for my image. So if you have already done this step, you're not supposed to make this again. This is just for your reference, so that in future if you make something like this, you can always click on the video and refer to it. Yeah, so if you think there is a lot of space in between the two leaves, you can always go ahead and give them a thicker outline with this dark color. Okay, so just give them a little thicker outline. Wash your brush and just blend it in between. Going to clean my brush and repeat it for this side. Now the same color, I'm going to give a little outline on top of it, just to give it a little depth, this area. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat the same thing on this other side of the paper, or the behind the head of this lady. Just making this area a little dark. One of the reason why we're making the area around the lady little dark everywhere is because here in this image we are depicting that this lady is standing in front of a painting. That means this painting is in background and she is standing in front of it, so that these two images, the image of the lady and that of the painting, looks like, we give it a little 3D look. So that's why we're just making it a little dark. Okay. Here. Okay, so for the class, we're going to make these leaves and the dress, the remaining dress. Okay, the only thing which I want all of you to do before the class is, again, alright, so for me, for this particular image, for my drawing, I'm going to make a little dark space, that is the sap green and the black mixture here around the nose and the lips, because I want the same color as I created for the background depth over here also. Just blend it. Yeah, now this is fine. A little more dark green color over here, although the hair is a little darker, but I'm going to make a little shadow of the hairs over here too. Yes. Okay, and let's do a little bit of smudging for the black lines here, just like that. Just some rough smudging. I'm just moving my brush up and down on these lines, and some blackish water is spreading around it. That's it. No much blending. I'm just making it a little dirty black. Here the base has white color, so that's why it's going to look a little gray, but then it is fine. So this step is little optional. If you want to do it, otherwise you can leave it. Okay. So before the class, I want all of you to complete this much, and then we have in fact I believe you can do the leaves also. Okay, so I'm going to show you one leaf over here. If you're able to do this, you're free to go ahead and make all the leaves in a similar manner. It's not very difficult to make it. So for this, I'm going to take some emerald green, mix it with some black color, pinch of water, okay, and then so most of the leaves, all of 1 2 3 4 and 5 leaves, they are half. So I'm just going to assume the center somewhere over here. I'm just going to give it some rough lines like this. Okay, just give it some lines, wash your brush, little water in your brush, and just touch that green color that you just created, and you're going to move in the leaf like this. Wash your brush again, just blend it. So this is what we want. We want a little darker color in the center, and the outside of the leaf should look little bright as it is. So this is something that you're going to create for all of them. If you're comfortable, do that before the class, or we're going to do that in the class. That's okay. Both the ways it works. It's not going to take much of your time. Alright, so here we complete the face, the jewelry, the background, and the dress. The only thing remaining is this piece of cloth over here, and the leaves, and some stems for the flower. That is also what we're going to draw once we're done with the leaves. Okay then, see you in the class. Bye.